it's Margie from the Westchester Children's Museum, once again here to do our weekly activities. So this week, we're doing some fun things with pumpkins. So before we get started, I want to ask you a couple questions. Have you ever been to a pumpkin patch? What things or types of food can you make with the inside of a pumpkin? Well, today we're going to learn a little bit more about pumpkins. And we're actually going to create some fun artwork with something that's inside the pumpkin. But first, before we get started, we're going to look inside a pumpkin and talk a little bit more about how pumpkins grow. So how do pumpkins grow? How long does it take? So let's talk a little bit about pumpkins and how they grow and where they grow. So I have a great book for you today. And we're not going to read the story, but I'm actually going to show you some pictures. And then we're going to open up a pumpkin and we're going to look inside. So this book is called From Seed to Pumpkin, and this is by Wendy Pfeiffer. So this is a great book for you to read with your caregiver because there's some beautiful pictures about how pumpkins grow. So first of all, you have to plant the seed with a pumpkin. And usually the seeds for pumpkins are planted in the springtime. We usually see pumpkins in the fall, right? So here are some great pictures of pumpkins. And here, first of all, we can see the seeds planted underneath the ground. And then the rain comes and sunshine, and what happens? Our little seed sprouts a little plant under the ground and some roots. And then, after some time, we'll see some little sprouts grow above the ground. And once that happens, we're gonna see some beautiful leaves. And then, did you know that pumpkins actually grow vines? Then their stems turn into these beautiful big vines. And all of this is starting to happen through the summer. And then, pumpkin flowers? Yes, you'll see some pumpkin flowers too. And look at those beautiful pumpkin flowers on the vine. And then we'll start to see our little pumpkin grow, which a pumpkin is a fruit. And then they're growing bigger, and it's fall time when they're growing bigger. And they're kind of yellowish and green at first. When they ripen, then they turn orange. And there's a great picture of a pumpkin patch. So it takes a long time for pumpkins to grow. Seeds are planted usually in the springtime, and it takes about 4 months for those big vines to grow and for the pumpkins to actually grow. So I have a couple pumpkins here, and we're going to look inside one next. So I have already cut the top, around the top of my pumpkin, so I can pull this off. But you're going to need to do this, your caregiver is going to need to do this for you or with you, all right? So in order to see what's inside. But first of all, what are the different parts of a pumpkin? Here is the stem, which that is the vine that the pumpkins grow on that you saw in the picture. You'll see some small lines, and those are the ribs of the pumpkin. Now let's take a look inside to see what else we can see in a pumpkin. So I'm gonna open it up. Are you ready? 1, 2, and 3. Ah! Look at that. What is that? Those look like they're seeds. And there's a lot of seeds inside. I'm gonna put that right on this plate here, and I'm gonna turn this so you can see the inside of the pumpkin. Look at all that. Now there's some seeds and there's some pumpkin rind, or the pumpkin inside. And all of this, the sides of the pumpkin and the inside, is what is used to bake certain things like pumpkin pie or even pumpkin bread. But let's pull some out. I'm gonna put a glove on just so you can see, and we're gonna put it all on a plate. So I'm gonna dig my hand in there. What do I have in there? Oh, it feels kind of gushy too. Let's see, let's pull it out, and I can pull a whole bunch of seeds right out. Look at those seeds. There we go. There's a lot of seeds in there. How many seeds do you think are inside a pumpkin? I can grab more out. So there you go. And that's your inside of the pumpkin with all those pumpkin seeds that could be planted. And we can grow a big pumpkin vine with those. And there you go. So next, we're gonna do a really fun art activity. And we're actually gonna use some of the pumpkin seeds that are inside the pumpkin. So first, what you have to do is you have to clean out your pumpkin, and you have to take all the seeds and rinse them off with your caregiver in a colander, and then lay them dry flat on a baking sheet. Or if you want to, you and your caregiver can buy some pumpkin seeds to do the next activity if you want. So let's get started with what you need to do our fun art activity. So you just need a few things to get started with this fun art activity. So the first thing you need is some pumpkin seeds. Now you can carve open a small pumpkin with your caregiver, and you can take those seeds out. That's kind of fun. And then you can rinse them off and lay them flat to dry on a baking sheet. And that will take a little bit though, so you may have to wait. Or you can actually buy some in the store and use those. So you need some pumpkin seeds. You need some glue. You need some liquid watercolor paint. You can also use regular watercolors or food coloring. And you need some white paper. And that's what you need. So it's time to get creative. Let's get started. So let's get started. So as you can see over here, I have all of my dried pumpkin seeds that I created. And I made them all those beautiful colors. But how did I do that? So what you need to do is you need to put some pumpkin seeds in a Ziploc bag, and that's a quart-sized bag. So I did that first with all my colors. And then you take your liquid watercolor, or you can actually take some regular watercolors, add a little water, and put it in a little cup and drip a little in. But I'm gonna put a couple drops of this liquid watercolor. 1, 2, and 3. And here comes the fun part. So you've got to squish them around. What color did I use? And squish them around and squish them around. You can even sing a song maybe as you're squishing them all around. You need to make sure your bag is really sealed well too. And I'm going to squish them. What color am I creating with my pumpkin seeds? You need to squish them a lot. And I may need to add a little bit more too. Squish, 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 and squish and shake them up. I'm going to put a little bit more in there. Oh, and we're going to squish them around. Now I see all those beautiful purple color. Look at that. So I'm going to keep squishing them till they're all saturated or covered with the color. And there we go. There's our purple. Now I need to lay these flat to dry on a baking sheet for a little bit. So I did that with all of these other colors. As you can see, I have red, yellow, orange, and green. And then what you can do is you can use these pumpkin seeds to make some beautiful pictures. So you can paint part of a picture first, and then use your glue and put on some of your pumpkin seeds. Or you can just make a picture just with pumpkin seeds. What if you made a pumpkin with pumpkin seeds? So I'll show you what I did. I made a beautiful fall tree, but I'm going to add some more leaves and some more things to my picture. But that's what I made with my pumpkin seeds. And all I did was put some paint, regular watercolor paint, and I painted a picture of a tree. And then I put some glue drops on a piece of paper, just one drop on a piece of paper. I put one drop, and then I put a leaf on. Let's put another yellow one. And that's all I did to make this beautiful picture. So that's it for our activity today. Thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to see some of the creative things that you do with some of these pumpkin seeds. Now, you can also make a repeating pattern, and that's kind of fun. So kind of like mosaics that you see created with tiles. Or you can actually make a rainbow, but you can make anything you want. You can make a happy face. You can make a robot. So I challenge you to get creative and make some fun things with your colored pumpkin seeds. And have fun too carving open a pumpkin and learning more about pumpkins. It's Margie from the Westchester Children's Museum. Thank you so much. I love doing these with all of you, and we miss you so much at the museum. So please join us on our website for all our fabulous programs and activities that we have for you. And I'll see you next time.